Mira and HarlequinAudio present Grave Birds by Dana Elmendorf, performed by Brittany Pressley. To Luke Dalton, may you always forge your own path. I am in awe of your talent and so very proud of you. Love you, kiddo. Mom. Hell is empty, and all the devils are here. The Tempest, William Shakespeare. Prologue. Sometimes the dead have unfinished business. You see it, don't you, Hollis? Mr. Royce Gentry's deep, rumbling voice stamped the air with white puffs. He squatted low next to my chair and nodded toward my granddaddy's grave, where his coffin was being lowered into the ground. The men, granddaddy's dearest friends, slowly filled in the dirt, one mournful shovelful at a time. Cold frosted the morning dew into a thin white crust that covered the grass. There, off to the side, was a little bluebird, tethered to the earth by an invisible thread. It twittered a helpless, frantic sound as it desperately flapped, struggling to get loose. Delicate and transparent, it looked as if it was made of colored air. Muted, so the hues didn't quite punch through. It was a pitiful sight, the poor thing trying so hard to get back up in the sky. A ghost bird, I had first thought when I saw it, until I looked around and found there were many, many more in the cemetery. It was a grave bird. I swallowed hard and pretended I didn't know what Mr. Gentry was talking about. No, sir, I don't see nothing, I said, as I continued to stare at the phantom. He gave me a scrutinizing look. He saw the lie in my eyes, but he let it go. For the now, anyways. I was only 11. I didn't want to admit I was different. But I knew I was, whether I liked it or not, and would always be. I had never so much as uttered a hello to Mr. Gentry until 5 days before. He's the one who pulled me from the freezing river and brought me back to life. Not by means of magic or miracle, but with science. Medical resuscitation for 32 minutes. But a miracle happened all the same. The adults stood around my granddaddy's grave, murmuring their condolences to my granny and my mama. It was that awkward moment after a funeral's finished, where everyone seemed lost about what to do next. But we all knew we were going back to Granny's house to a slew of casseroles and desserts that would barely get eaten. 2 of my distant cousins, bored from the bother of my grandfather dying, kicked around a fallen pine cone over an even more distant relative's nearby grave. Mrs. Yancey, our neighbor up the road, had just taken my twin brothers home, since they were squalling something terrible, confused as to why we would trap Granddaddy in the ground. I watched as Mr. Gentry talked closely to Mrs. Belmont's son, who was visiting from New York City. But his flirting, normally an immersed habit, was on autopilot as he watched me watching the grave bird. Could Mr. Gentry see it too? Mr. Gentry was a Southern gentleman who put a great deal of care into perfecting the standard. His suits were custom-made from a tailor in Charleston, who drove up just to measure them, then hand-delivered the pieces when they were finished. It didn't matter your standing in society. Mr. Gentry treated the most common among us as his equal. He lived a lush lifestyle, filled with grand parties attended by foreign dignitaries, congressmen, and anyone powerful he could gain favor with. Several times a year, he traveled across Europe, something his job as a foreign consultant required of him. His friends, just as colorful as him, lived life to the fullest. A dedicated husband once, until his wife found interest in someone half her age. His 2 grown daughters, who didn't respect his choice in who to love, eventually wanted nothing to do with him. I think it left a big hole in his heart, and what drew him to help our family out. In the weeks after the funeral, Mr. Gentry began to fill the empty space in our lives where Granddaddy once stood. It started with an offer.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?